Hey, what is up, everybody? I'm here to give you a video today. Now, I know I already did my live experience, and I already kind of talked about Wrestlemania, and I already did kind of my review for it. However, I have some more things that I want to say about Wrestlemania. I don't know exactly what I'm going to call this video yet. I'm either going to call it More Wrestlemania 32 Thoughts or um, like the Aftershock WrestleMania 32 Thoughts Aftermath. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to call this yet. Um, but I am going to sit here and kind of talk about it. So, what it comes down with WrestleMania 32, my opinion on the show is not going to change. I still thought it was a fantastic event to go to. Going to a big event like that, whether it's WrestleMania, Super Bowl, World Series, whatever the NBA's and Stanley Cup for hockey. Going to a big event like that definitely felt special. I thought the WWE really went all out with this show. I thought they really put forth together a lot of effort to try to make this show work. I really was in favor of WrestleMania 32. Now, was it because I was there live? Probably. I definitely think, being there live is going to be mainly the reason why I like this show. Because it was a different experience to go to and a different scenery and all that jazz. However, when I made that video, I was kind of in meltdown moment because I was talking about the stuff that I got to see live. I did talk about the matches and what I didn't like on in that video, I'm going to kind of talk about the stuff, looking at it from kind of like watching it like on the network TV and all that stuff. Because now I've kind of I'm aware somewhat of what it looked like that way. And, I'm kind of starting to think about, what I kind of wish I had gotten out of WrestleMania. Now, the whole thing with the venue about how they were not able to get everybody to their seats in time. I don't know if that's on the WWE for not being able to manage it, because I have never heard of a venue where they had that much of a problem. Because it seems like WWE always has that problem, especially when it came to Survivor Series 2013, about, 3 years ago, when it went to Survivor Series and we had to get completely relocated, which ended up working out for the better because we got to sit closer, but still, where we ended up completely getting relocated from the panel, and then they had to, we almost missed like the entire kickoff pre-show. It seems like those things happen. And then, and they also had a year to plan out this show and really map out this show. And then, I definitely think they could have done, the WWE could have done better. But I think at the same time, it was AT&T Stadium. It was over 100,000 people in there. It was pretty hectic in there, so I don't really know who to blame for that. Obviously, I heard stuff that the network kind of wasn't working at times. I've already talked about that. I did, ranting about that. They've been doing the WWE network for over 2 years now. You would think that since they have people that know how to do this stuff, would be able to manage how to do that. Hold on, I'm just gonna send a text real quick. Okay, anyhow. And then, but yeah, I thought that was kind of weak. I thought it was kind of weak how they didn't really give us much of a warning. I mean, like I said, I wasn't going to look at it from a live experience. How they didn't really give us much of a warning that the pre-show was going to start. Literally, everybody had gotten in there, and they just cut right to Kalisto and Ryback's music. We didn't really know the pre-show was starting. I thought that was bad. But yeah, other things I thought were pretty bad on this show. Um, um, Not bad, but other things I want to talk. But yeah, that was just probably some minor things. As far as the matches themselves go, we had Kalisto versus Ryback. I personally didn't mind this match, even though I was watching it live. It was cool, but I definitely thought that this match was perfect for the styles in this match. Ryback was wrestling as the powerhouse guy, as the big guy, and Kalisto was wrestling, as the high-flying guy that needed to overcome the odds against this big guy, and then they did the finish that they did. I was down with this match, and I was fine with it. It was actually perfectly placed on the show as a kickoff match. It didn't really need to be anything more than that. I was fine with this match. A couple of problems I had with them making this match is, one, the storyline wasn't really strong enough for this match. I didn't really feel invested in this match. I understand they went with that big guy versus small guy mentality, but I just didn't think it was anything to get off about. I didn't think it was anything special. I think they should have actually done a little bit more to build up this feud. I think Ryback's heel one's been absolutely terrible. And then all of a sudden, he's just a heel for no reason, really. And then he's doing things like acting like a face, and he's just that's just bad. And I just really, really wish that Kalisto could have gotten more of a spotlight at a WrestleMania. This was a guy that broke off from Sin Cara and really went places. This is a guy that had that big moment at TLC when he did the Salida del Sol to one of the Usos through the ladder. He really deserved to have a nice big WrestleMania match and a WrestleMania moment on the actual main card. Now, if I had to pick what match he could have had, to be honest with you, I actually thought that he actually should have been the one to have the ladder match on this show. I was really thinking about it. He really could have shined in a ladder match. Hold on. Sorry, I'm just texting right now. But anyhow, yeah, I just personally think he would have really shined in this match. All the high-flying spots that he would be able to hit, he would be able to go all Demolition Derby in this match. And if you really wanted to, you could have thrown Kalisto, Dolph Ziggler, hell, you could even throw in Alberto Del Rio, or because I think he would really fit well in that match. You could throw in Alberto Del Rio. You could still throw in Stardust. Zack Ryder, if you still want to throw him in there. And you could really do something. You could have really done something, with that. And then all of a sudden, and Kalisto really could have shined in this match, and you really could have launched off two feuds in this match. Well, you could have really set off a feud in this match. You could have Kalisto just retain the United States Championship and get a nice WrestleMania moment, or you could have given it to Sin Cara, and then Sin Cara goes heel. Little after the night after WrestleMania, and then you could do Sin Cara versus Kalisto for the United States Championship. I actually kind of wish, that could have happened, because Kalisto could have had a big WrestleMania moment where he went off and did like the Salida del Sol right off a ladder, like a dive off the stage or something like that. I really think Kalisto really could have shined in this match, in the ladder match. But like I said, the pre-show was what it was. I thought actually it was good. I actually liked it. The 10 Divas Tag Team match, I'm really not going to complain about. It was actually a decent match. It was a match that belonged on the pre-show, and I thought it was solid. I didn't really think it was, anything more than that. Now, as far as the Usos versus the Dudley Boys, so you got to tell me, I even felt this way live. You're just going to take these two teams who are your best two of your best tag teams, probably excluding maybe the New Day that you have in your company, and you're just going to stick them right on the kickoff and give them 5 minutes. That was a joke, and that was a travesty, especially for the Dudley Boys. The Dudley Boys really deserved a nice shine here at a WrestleMania, and they really should not have been on the kickoff. And they were in a feud I didn't care about that I should have cared about, and it was just terrible. And then the Usos getting booed. I don't know if they were just booing the Usos because they knew Roman Reigns was going to win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and it just was all that. I don't know. I don't. It's just. It was just stupid. The Intercontinental Championship ladder match. Thought it was perfect. It wouldn't really change anything about it. Like I said, I really wish that they would have done a one-on-one match with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to blow off their feud, and Sami Zayn gets the Intercontinental Championship. But I'm really not going to complain about it. Zack Ryder finally get to have a moment after 5 years of being jobbed out, and I was fine with that. Styles versus Jericho, fine with it. I am a little bit questionable about having AJ Styles go into his first big WrestleMania and losing. They really hyped that up. However, at the same time, Chris Jericho is a guy that always gets jobbed out when he shows up. That, you know, it gets to the point where it doesn't feel special if you beat Chris Jericho. Hell, even Fandango's beating Chris Jericho. You know, so. And then what else we have on this code? You had stuff like, you had that New Day League of Nations match, in a match that probably was like a Raw TV match, but it was fine. I thought the New Day, I still stand by the fact that the New Day should have won. They deserved this victory here after being the hardest act since, on the show. And then, I thought I thought the match with, New Day and League of Nations, and I loved all the past superstars like Austin, Foley, and Michaels coming out. The one thing I didn't really like, it just feels like that they just had the League of Nations win just so they could get fed to Austin, Michaels, and Foley. It was a cool WrestleMania moment, but you still could have done something with the New Day winning, and then they just lay them out and all that stuff. So then, we get the street fight. Now, I still really enjoyed this match. The main reason was because it was my first time seeing Brock Lesnar wrestle live. And it was really interactive when he would hit the German suplexes and they would have the counts, and they would have him counted on the Titantron. And I really enjoyed it for that reason. My first time seeing Brock Lesnar wrestle live was really cool, and it felt like a different match to see in person. The thing I really didn't understand is, one thing I do want to say, I forgot to mention it. I want you guys to push for this to happen. So, with the New Day, they're the hottest act in the WWE. I was at Papagino's today, and I was thinking about stuff you could do with the New Day as the hottest acts, and we were just kind of clowning around. And I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know if she wants me to tell you this, but I don't really think that she cares. Melissa C., who is a YouTuber on here, who talks about disabilities and stuff like that, actually is a huge Cookie Monster fan. And today I actually went to her getting one of the New Day T-shirts, and we were kind of joking around talking about how Cookie Monster and New Day should be in a segment together because it would be awesome. And we were actually talking about it, and it actually would feel something special. That would be awesome. Can you imagine the chemistry with the Cookie Monster and the New Day together? You could even have them be heel, you could have them be face. It would be gold. A lot of the older fans wouldn't like it because it would be the Cookie Monster, but I think the New Day could make it work, and I would think the Cookie Monster can make it work. It would just be one hell of a segment. I think actually, it would actually really be cool. And at the end of the day, you are a PG company, and it would really gravitate towards the kids. And it would just be awesome. Can you imagine the New Day cutting a promo with the Cookie Monster? With the stuff that the Cookie Monster says, with the stuff that the New Day talk about. I actually really would like to see that happen. I don't know why, but I would really, really like to see that happen. I think that would be awesome. But anyhow, let me get to this Brock Lesnar Dean Ambrose street fight now. There was a few things I hated about this match. I hated the fact that Dean Ambrose really didn't get much offense in. And the fact that I was actually texting her right now, by the way. But anyhow, yeah, so you had the street fight, and you were building to the fact that Dean Ambrose was going to go up. But yeah, Dean Ambrose really didn't get much offense. You had Brock Lesnar get like 90%, not nearly 90%, but most of the offense in this match, which I know was bound to happen, but I thought that with what they did in this match, it made Dean Ambrose look really weak. The fact that you were hyping up that he was going to use all these weapons like a crowbar, barbed wire baseball bat, a chainsaw. Now, yes, I wasn't expecting him to use the chainsaw because you can't fake using a chainsaw on somebody, but I'm just saying. You had a chainsaw, you had... You know, the only weapons they used was a laptop, a kendo stick, a fire extinguisher, and a few chairs. That was really disappointing. And the match was way too short. This was the big featured matches that I actually cared about the most, storyline-wise, going into this match. And, that I cared about storyline-wise heading into this show, and it got, I think, like 13 minutes. That is a joke and a half. And that was a shame. And then the fact that, that they had the wrong guy win, because it's like this. You're building up Brock Lesnar into such a monster where who the hell can you believe was going to beat him? Because you had Dean Ambrose, who even if he had won, it would have still made Brock Lesnar look strong. I think this is a win that Dean Ambrose really needed because they're trying to make him the next big baby face in the WWE, and he really hasn't had that big key signature victory yet. He got jobbed out in his feud with Seth Rollins, he got jobbed out in his feud with Bray Wyatt, and then he got jobbed out again by Seth Rollins, and then, he really hasn't amounted to really much since the Shield has broke up. You can say, well, he's still hot, really the hottest guy in the company, but he really isn't. They really don't give him signature victories. It's the same case with Bray Wyatt, except the thing is people still care about him. You're gonna probably end up getting another Dolph Ziggler on your hands. I really don't want to see that happen with Dean Ambrose because he could be the next big star if they would allow him, and he really should have gone over in this match. Then we had that Women's Championship Triple Threat match that I loved. I thought it was a phenomenal matchup. It really showcased women's wrestling. One person won. I still believe the one person won, so I'm just going to move on because it's the same stuff I was talking about. Also really didn't care for... No, I'm sorry. And then the Hell in a Cell match, I still cared for. I heard the first few minutes was slow, and I can maybe agree with what people were saying there. But I just love this match. One, because I got to see The Undertaker live at a WrestleMania, and even though he doesn't have a streak anymore, it's still The Undertaker at a WrestleMania. And then I got to see Shane McMahon wrestle live, and I got to see a Hell in a Cell match live. So that was really cool in itself. And I thought these were the perfect two dance partners to have that Hell in a Cell match. One thing I actually kind of came across when I was thinking about it is where the hell was Vince McMahon just all night at WrestleMania? For a couple of reasons why I think it was stupid that he didn't even show up at all at WrestleMania. The main reason is because I thought I thought it was incredibly stupid was because you have Vince McMahon. He broke the attendance record for WrestleMania. That's what he did. He broke the attendance record. And it's like this. You would expect at least Vince McMahon to show up on TV and brag about it. You would expect him to show up at a WrestleMania that he was going all in for. Especially with the fact that he was showing up on TV every week. You would expect at least of anybody else, the guy that created WrestleMania, to be at WrestleMania, and he wasn't there. I thought that was ridiculous. And then especially the fact that it was ridiculous that Vince McMahon didn't come out at all during this match. Now, yeah, I can make the assumption. I can be an Undertaker mark here and say that he didn't need to come out because the Undertaker just destroyed him and we knew it was going to happen. But still, you threw everything in this match. You wanted to make sure Shane McMahon, didn't get control. And you have Vince McMahon come out and he does nothing. He's not seen, he's not heard from. Well, he's probably he's mentioned on commentary, but he does nothing. I thought that was ridiculous. I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. And it's like, at the end of the day, as much as I love The Undertaker winning, and I love that, they gave me what I wanted, what was the point of this match? Just kind of felt like a match just to have The Undertaker get an opponent at WrestleMania. That's all it felt. At the end of the day, the storytelling was awful. Going into this match, to begin with, you should have just done what you were originally going to do, which is what at the end of the night should have happened in the begin with Roman Reigns, Shane McMahon being in Roman Reigns' corner for the title, and then you have Vince in Triple H's corner, and then you just have, if Roman wins, Shane would get control of Raw, and everyone would have eaten that shit up. So then, that was the Hell in a Cell, but I still thought it was an amazing match. I love Shane McMahon jumping off the Hell in a Cell. I love The Undertaker putting Shane McMahon through the door. The last ride on the steps was cool. I thought this was a really cool match, and it was just amazing. It was exactly what I expected, especially when Shane McMahon had The Undertaker in the sleeper when Undertaker drove himself to the table. It was phenomenal, and yes, I love the fact that The Undertaker went over. And I hope next year he goes into the Hall of Fame and his last match can be against John Cena. Because I think that's the proper way for The Undertaker to go out. And then we have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal that actually, I will say, even though I didn't really see a lot of the match, I actually thought it was actually a lot of fun to watch. Having Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq come out and have the face-off with Big Show was cool. Having DDP come out and Baron Corbin winning was a nice surprise. I just don't know why he didn't get an entrance. And why he was, I wish I could have known that he was actually in the match. But Baron Corbin win, I really hope they can do something. I actually have some hope that they may do something with him now because I hear they're really high on Baron Corbin. So, and then, we had the main event. It was Roman Reigns, Triple H. Why they didn't do the no DQ stipulation, I will never understand. I actually think that they should have done it because there was points in this match where it was slow, and I think if it was a no disqualification, it really could have used it. And I don't know if this match should have main evented. I understand this was the main event match you were building to for months and months and months, but I think The Undertaker and Shane McMahon should have main evented. Because the fact that The Undertaker, Shane McMahon didn't main event, you kind of had a feeling that The Undertaker was going over because he wasn't going to go out in the main event, and if it wasn't the main event, and then you still had that big spot, and everybody would have at least gone home happy. Because with this main event, nobody ended up going home happy, and everybody actually largely hated it. Now, I think a lot of the problem with this match was that a lot of the stuff you could kind of call from a mile away coming, like the spear through the barricade, the Superman punches, the pedigrees, and Stephanie McMahon getting speared. While it was cool, you knew it was coming a mile away, so that it felt like that the match was predictable. However, I did like the matchup itself. I didn't think it was terrible, and I didn't think it was lame or anything like that. So. Well, I didn't mind the matchup. Roman Reigns winning. To be honest with you, it just was what it was. Let's be honest. We all knew it was coming. We all knew it was going to happen, and I just accepted it. They want to make Roman Reigns the next baby face, and that's exactly what they're going to do. There's nothing that we can say or do that's going to change their mind at this point. I'm just going to let it happen. And that's just kind of how I felt at the end of the show, and there was people that didn't like it. You know, no, yeah, it could have been the section that I was sitting in, but I had a lot, and I had a lot of like casual fans and women that love Roman Reigns sitting right next to me, sitting where I was sitting. So maybe that was why people liked it so much. But the match wasn't terrible, and Roman Reigns got his WrestleMania moment. I don't know if he did he deserve it? I don't know. It's just I really don't hate Roman Reigns. I do feel bad for the guy because he can't even show up to a Hall of Fame induction without getting booed. He can't even just show up just in general when he gets booed out of the building. But yeah, that was the main event. One thing I did forget was the Rock segment when he came out and announced everything. Now I know everyone wanted to say it lasted way too long. Now the thing was since it was live and it was cool to see The Rock and it was cool to see John Cena return, I was down, and it actually kind of went by quicker than I thought. When you were there live. And that was Mania. Like I talked about, I'm still going to say this was an awesome show just because I got to be there live for it. However, I can see why people would diss this show because from watching it on the WWE Network, pay-per-view, all that stuff. Now, was it too long? Maybe. However, I do have to say this, that since Raw was 3 hours, I actually think this makes WrestleMania feel live by having it go, because this is supposed to be the biggest show of the year, and I'm all down with them going on for at least 5 hours. Now, it would be nice if they would know how to manage their time a little bit better, but it is what it is. Maybe they shouldn't have had The Rock go out there for 30 minutes, because that was kind of a little too long. I think the problem is with The Rock is when he comes out, he kind of paces himself. When he won't really talk, and I think that is definitely a problem. Now, yes, he done around this fan base a lot, so I am going to give him credit there. It probably kind of hits him, so yeah. That's just kind of, how I feel about that. And then that was really it for WrestleMania. Like I said, I just figured I kind of just sit here because I can see why people would trash this show. I'm not going to trash this show, but I did mention the negatives, but there is positives about this show. It really is an awesome wrestling show to watch. You get an awesome Hell in a Cell match. You get an awesome ladder match that has the right guy winning. You have you have a great matchup with AJ Styles and Chris Jericho. And hey, I'm really not going to complain much about Chris Jericho the kickoff is pretty good. You got Kalisto facing Ryback in a good pre-show match. You got the 10 Diva Tag Team match that you really don't need to go out of your way to see, but it isn't a bad match. And then you could probably skip the Usos versus the Dudleys. The New Day versus the League of Nations is good, but it's really worth seeing for the Austin Foley Michaels segment afterwards. And then, obviously, the Hell in a Cell match, which I just mentioned. The women's match really surprised me on this show. And we had the women's match. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal was a lot of fun to watch. Maybe you could skip Lesnar versus Ambrose. I would be down with that if you did. And then you can, the Rock segment, you could probably fast forward it a little bit. And then, the main event is probably it isn't a bad match or anything. It just isn't main event of WrestleMania quality, and it's just kind of predictable. So that's what Mania is. But there is I do think it is a good. If you watch it on the network, good. But this was a WrestleMania that was worth being there for, I think, because you got to see a lot of people come back. You got to see a lot of great matchups, and me and everybody else on the Aftershock Corner, King Tut, James, Steve Steiner, are all talking about going to WrestleMania next year, and that would just be awesome if I could go again. And this time we would try to do it. Go all the way. We would try to hit Hall of Fame, Monday Night Raw, NXT TakeOver, whatever it is, which I still have to watch that. I am going to watch that. And, and I'm really all down to do that, because I had a lot of fun watching WrestleMania. But I just figured I'd come on here and just kind of mention the things that I didn't mention in my actual WrestleMania review, because I can see why everybody would say the things that they are saying. And, one other thing I do want to say too is I didn't really talk about this too much, but yeah, now that WrestleMania is over, I am going to try my best to try to revamp my YouTube channels and stuff like that. I'll talk about the Owen the Talkinator and CM Brothers one when I get a chance. But what happened with my YouTube channel was I was just, like I talked about before, dealing with a lot of drama, a lot of BS. So I didn't really fall out of it per se, but I kind of just didn't really feel making videos because of the stuff I was dealing with. But now that I've gone to WrestleMania 32, I'm going to actually sit down and try to revamp this channel. I have some videos I want to do. I want to review Stone Cold Steve Austin's podcasts. I want to review the Ultimate Warrior DVD. I want to review Edge and Christian show. I want to review, get back to doing the Aftershock Corner. We're going to bring that back next week, which may be easier for this channel. But I want to get back, I'm probably going to try to do a Raw review this week and stuff like that. And I really want to just kind of get back on the right direction with this channel. With the Retro Wrestling Review series, I still have to do Edges as a past wrestler of the week. I'll probably sit down and try to do that this week. Maybe try to do it, finish it up this weekend. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff I want to do with this channel now that WrestleMania is over. So I hope I can get that stuff done. And that's pretty much it, guys. I will make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And subscribe to Marissa C's channel, Pro Wrestling Fan 486, Jemiah Pin WWE, because they'll be going to WrestleMania 33. And make sure to check all of them out. And that's pretty much it, guys. I'll make sure to check me out as well. And hit the subscribe button on all my channels and stuff like that. That's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you.